Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Obviously it's not an old one. Today I'm going to be showing kind of a little bit of a tour of sort of my home media sort of setup that I have here for both digital like photos and also digital music and also cassette tapes and stuff, because I know a lot of people like that, and there's probably a lot of audiophiles that are interested in this kind of thing. So here we have a Asus laptop. This is just a cheap little computer that I bought for like $100 online. Nothing too super fancy or expensive, just something that I can connect to Spotify and also the internet, the rest of the internet, so I can look up YouTube, songs on YouTube and other websites, and also an entire backlog of music on Spotify as well I can go to. I'm not going to be playing anything off of Spotify just because I don't want to get copywritten, but this right here, this Asus laptop, is feeding into my Sanyo system right here. This is a System 220. I would like to focus on that. It is a stereo integrated amplifier. Well, this is the amplifier right here. This is the actual cassette deck right here. As you can obviously probably tell by the cassette deck. Also have a 500 megabyte external hard drive plugged into the computer as well for photo storage. So this is like completely original from the 80s. I think my parents had this, or my dad had it, and it was just kind of collecting dust up in our attic. So I figured I would take these two pieces right here, along with these original Sanyo floor speakers. These are probably, I would say, 3 feet tall. Probably 3 feet tall. I don't really have anything to measure off of or give you a good idea of how tall they are, but you can see this is probably a 10-inch laptop, so those are probably 2-3 feet, I would say, tall. Maybe a meter for those in Europe. So I have these hooked up into this, and then this also into that. And if we go into the back, you can see there's this cord, this 4-foot cord that's plugged into the back here that allows me to play. I can basically plug anything in to the amplifier, any sort of external source for music consumption or listening to. I could plug my phone in, or even this little Bluetooth speaker from Anchor. Not sponsored by them or anything, it's just picked that up one day, so I can plug that in here and then hook my phone up through Bluetooth. So that's pretty cool. A little bit about this Sanyo device, or these devices, these two things. They do have a stereo. This is not a 3.5 millimeter headphone port. This is just your standard studio jack. They has a port you can plug in. I usually leave the adapter in so I can plug a normal pair of headphones in if I decide to, if I'm listening to a cassette. Obviously, if I'm listening to music on Spotify, I can just use my phone. But this allows you to turn the speakers on and off. Obviously, you have the main power here, and also for the cassette deck, turn that on. That pop. Yeah, usually turn the amplifier on first and then the speakers, just to reduce the pop. So we have here, this is the switcher for the, if you want the phono or the CD right here, or you can click that for tape and it will play the cassette tapes, or if you unclick that button it plays through the auxiliary port, so you can obviously play stereo or Spotify songs or off your phone or whatever. And then we have left and right mic ports, and then we have a second headphone port right here, and to the right of that we have different selectors for the different kinds of tape that we have, which I think is cool. And then Dolby HDR, you can turn that on and off, and you can see the little light there go on and off. I usually leave it on because it sounds cool. Then we have the input, either line is out and the mic is in. I usually leave it in. So this is the stereo cassette deck. RD220 is the name on that. And this, I love this because it's all analog, and it's super cool. So we have an analog center switch, center knob, I guess, and you can take all these out and replace the knobs if you need to, or even put the bass where the, you know. So we have bass and treble adjust. You can slide those up to 0 if you want to. I usually leave them full bass and -10 treble and +10 bass. I think I went off of this loudness and source for the tape. Loudness on or off, tape on or off. We have the master volume right there, and then we have the input level, whether you want it to come out the right speaker or the left speaker only. 5 is obviously the center on that, and I don't know if this knob is the one that works. This is just the input level. The balance right here is what you, so you know, that's pretty cool for that. As far as the cassette deck goes, the eject button is separate from the other buttons. Right here you have stop, record, play, obviously fast forward and rewind, and then pause. Right here, I just find it, I'll just shut these off for now. I just find it interesting that the eject button is separated and also has a different texture, because I don't know if you can tell, but these buttons down here kind of have little grooves on the bottom of them. So the eject button is separated and has no sort of texture on it. It's sort of modeled after the power button on that, which is pretty cool. So that's about it, really. Again, the power, like that, simple, and then off. I think that's about it, really, for that. So I have, again, an Asus laptop, sorry about that, with, it's got, can connect Spotify up to it and other things. I can play through here, YouTube videos, whatever, and that's all leading into the Sanyo System 220 or RD220 system. I'm trying to find a CD player that I can put on top of this as well, but excuse me, I don't know if they made a CD player for this. I know Sanyo has made CD players in the past. I just don't know if they made one that fits on this system, because this system originally came in had a cassette deck, the amplifier, and then it also had a turntable for records, but I don't think we have the turntable anymore. And if we do, I don't think it works, so which is unfortunate. But I mean, this setup works for me just fine and does what I need it to do. So it's pretty cool. Then I've got all my cassettes in this big portable cassette carrier here, which I like a lot. It's pretty cool. Found that at a thrift store. So that's my setup for my home stereo. Thanks for watching.